Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I want to present the Sexton Blake Library, and I have quite a few of those, and if there's anyone who knows a lot about Sexton Blake, they know that there were literally thousands of these published. So I'll show you a few of them, the ones we have. So this is Sexton Blake Library, number 206. Now, Sexton Blake first appeared back in 1893 and ran for approximately over 50 years. So I think 53 years, up until 1978. So we'll show some of the books, and they're digest-sized books. They're quite thin, but the text inside is pretty tiny. I'll show you an example. I remember having a earlier, larger-sized, magazine-sized, and I think it was a Union Jack, which we sold to some people in England. That was a while back. As you can see, the size of them, they're text heavy. Two panels per page. And novel length, I would say. Alright, so that's that. I'll show you what we have, and there's quite a few of them. And you can go through and look. So there are a couple of things. One is Blake, throughout his career as a detective, and he was a detective, initially much in the vein of Sherlock Holmes, and then in later he became a kind of international spy working for the government. Anyway, so this is one, Sexton Blake Library, number 206, The Man Who Left Home. And this is Lift Shaft Crime, Sexton Blake 609. Now, throughout his career as a criminal, as a detective, Blake had some arch villains that he had to face. One of the most famous is Zenith the Albino. Another one would be Waldo the Wonder Man, a kind of super strong circus man who he battled against. Anyway, they had different writers. There are literally hundreds of writers who wrote these books, among whom were people like John Creasy, one of the more famous ones that I'm aware of. So this is The Mystery of the Missing Doctor, and you can see it's a little thicker. This is Sexton Blake Library 610. The Nightclub Mystery 663. You can see it's 2, 3, so that'd be February the 3rd, I think, 1939. This would be February the 2nd, 1938. February the 2nd, 36. Oh, this is February the 1st, 1938. And okay. And this is The Sign of the Black Feather. There's Sexton Blake right there. This is number 667. 671 is The Harem Mystery. 4539. The Riddle of the Ranch. Sexton Blake 688. And this is Sexton Blake number 13, 1 of 7. Let's see. And it says it's printed in England, published on the first Thursday of each month by the proprietors, the Amalgamated Press. And then there's the publisher, Fleetway House. Registered transmission by Canadian Magazine Post. Interesting. Sole agents for Canadian Magazine Post, sole agents for Australia and New Zealand, and so on. Okay. So that's that. And then we have Sexton Blake Library number 208. Then The Mystery of the Haunted Square, Witness to Crime, Sexton Blake Library 210. Those on the List, Sexton Blake number 211. The Secret of 60 Steps, Sexton Blake number 213. Very nice covers. And this is The Old Man of the Moors, Sexton Blake Library number 218. Okay. And we'll move those aside. And there's more. Sexton Blake Library number 226. The Affair of Danny the Dip by Walter Tyrer. There he is, shoplifting, pickpocketing. Alright, there's that. There's number 234. It says 15 cents, so this must have been sold in North America. This is The Case of the Green Caravan. Rex Hardin. It Happened in Melgrove Square by John Hunter, Sexton Blake Library 239. Hated by All by John Drummond, Sexton Blake Library 240. The Headmaster's Secret by Rex Harding, Sexton Blake Library, and it's hidden behind the 15 cents there. The Case of the Crooked Skipper, Sexton Blake Library number 240 something. This is by John Hunter. The Mystery of the Lost Loot by Hilary King, Sexton Blake 250. The Case of the Missing Scientist by Anthony Parsons, Sexton Blake number 257. The Secret of the Moroccan Bazaar by Anthony Parsons, Sexton Blake number 319. And this one has it right on the top. This has September 1955. Gripping new detective thriller, The Mystery of the Mad Millionaires by Walter Tyrer, Sexton Blake number 343. Very thin. Okay. The mailing is for London. And then we have the newer versions of the Sexton Blake. This is number 338. This is as by Peter Saxon. Sexton Decoy for Murder. Discarded, unprotected. In hate-torn Morocco, she was at the mercy of violent, power-crazed men. Very suggestive. Alright, that's Decoy for Murder. And then this is Sexton Blake Library 364, Inclining to Crime. And then we have Sexton Blake Library 371, Battle Song. Number 373 is Nightmare in Naples by James Stagg. This one's by W. Howard Baker. This is 375, Silent Witness by John Hunter. This is 345, The Strange Affair of the Widow's Diamonds by Hugh Cleveley. Now, throughout the Sexton Blake adventures, especially in the early ones, there was, like I said, the arch-villains that I mentioned. In the later ones, they didn't appear as much. This is number 361, Dark Mambo by W. Howard Baker. This one is called Safari with Fear by Rex Harding. Number 430, A Killer at Large in the African Veldt. Was it man or beast or black magic? And then we have Home Sweet Homicide, Sexton Blake, number 436. This is number 363, Front Page Woman by Peter Saxon. You killed her, they said. They all thought me guilty. Maybe I was. And that's what Sexton Blake would look like in the later issues. And this one is Special Edition to Murder by Arthur Kent, number 381. This one is number 515, and there you have Sexton Blake as portrayed by Jeffrey Toone from the TV series. And there you have a quote from Agatha Christie. Delighted to see Sexton Blake still going strong with such aplomb. So that's that. And then you have A Corpse for Christmas. And it was Sexton Blake, this intrepid hero, first fired my imagination to become a detective. That's how long it's been running. So this is Sexton Blake 514. This is W.A. Ballinger, number 512, Savage Venture. This is number 500, Somebody Wants Me Dead, Richard Williams. Only death would they let him find peace. Then we have Suddenly It's Murder. Number 473, very thin. Paris and the French Riviera in the spring, and a man with a macabre sense of humor. This is by Jack Trevor Story. Suddenly It's Murder. Shot from the Dark by Philip Chambers, a terrified girl in the hands of a half-crazy killer. Sexton Blake 469. This is 468, Thief of Clubs by Gilbert Johns. The stakes were high, the game was deadly. Who was the mysterious Mr. Card, king of Soho's rackets? And this one's Dead Man's Destiny, number 466, Martin Thomas. A dark and festering secret babbled from the lips of a dying man. It set off a chain of violence, murder, and ugly betrayal. All right. 463, Contract for a Killer by Desmond Reed. And 462 is Journey to Genoa by F. Dubray Fawcett. Number 460, Someone Died Laughing by Rex Dolphin. A joyride in dreamland became a nightmare of terror. Bred to Kill, Martin Thomas. The shadow of the unknown hung over them. That's 448. This is 444, Desert Intrigue by James Stagg. Violence and betrayal in the Middle East. All right. Here's 443, Epitaph to Treason by W.A. Ballinger. It had been the scandal of the decade. Heads rolled and famous men hid guilty secrets. The years passed by, but all the while a victim planned revenge. Nice covers. Fear is My Shadow, Martin Thomas. A scream from the wings set the stage for murder. It's 4:34. Showdown in Sydney. Nice cover. 4:33. Martin Thomas. Catch a Tiger. He came thousands of miles to pronounce sentence of death on those who had betrayed him. Okay. 4:31 is Passport into Fear by W. Howard Baker. And here you have an Orthodox Christian cross. A fabulous relic worth £2 million and a beautiful girl enmeshed in a web of terror. Okay, that's number 431. Time for Murder by James Stagg. A killer at large at a holiday playground. Number 428. Dressed to Kill, D. Herbert Hyde. Number 424. They came out of the past to claim vengeance upon an innocent victim. 423. Witness to Murder by Edwin Harrison. 422. Consider Your Verdict by Rex Harding. You have heard the evidence, said the judge. 421. Cry in the Night by Peter Saxon. There was a murderer who walked by night and a small town girl who knew too much. Okay. 420. Appointment with Danger. They said it was going to be the crime of the century by W. Howard Baker. 419 is House on the Bay by Arthur McLean. Men of many nations wanted to know the secrets of the House on the Bay. Oh, there's a better copy. It's 419. 418. The Frightened People by Jack Trevor Story. Panic spread when the news got out. There was no escape from the invisible enemy called atomic radiation. This is an SF novel. Okay, let's move that aside. And this beautiful cover, number 414, Diamonds Can Be Troubled by Edwin Harrison. Diamonds can be a girl's worst enemy. Apparently not her best friend. Number 413, No Time to Live, W. Howard Baker. Who was the traitor who sent brave men to certain death? What's that for a title? 412 is Murder in the Sun, Jack Trevor Story. .409 is The Naked Blade by Peter Saxon. The trail of murder stretched from London to Mexico City and beyond. That's a pretty violent cover there. 9 O'Clock Shadow, Jack Trevor Story, an innocent man condemned to death. Can Sexton Blake beat the clock? Harry Jakes was a rock and roll Romeo, a coffee bar lizard. But was he a cop killer? It's 9 O'Clock Shadow. 406 is The Fatal Hour by Edwin Harrison. Death came suddenly in the harsh glare of the arena. And that's Spanish bullfighting. Murder Most Intimate, W. Howard Baker. The girl had to die. She knew too much. Beautiful cover. Number 405 is High Heels and Homicide by Desmond Reed. The beauty queens disappeared one by one. And then we have number 392, The Copycat Kings. Let's take that off. You can see the cover. That's The Copycat Kings by Martin Thomas. Whose hand was behind the trigger of the killer with the one-track mind? This is Roadhouse Girl 386 by Desmond Reed. She walked in on murder. Number 379, A Murder in Sydney was the starting point to a wild chase. That's Flashpoint for Treason by Desmond Reed. Now that's a beautiful cover. Gay Madrid became a city of terror for two girls who witnessed the crime of the century. That's Vacation with Fear by John Trevor Story. Number 382. And this is the last one that we have. This is Victim Unknown, number 384 by Desmond Reed. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation on the Sexton Blake Library. And like I said, they ran from 1893 to 1978 and featured some great adventures and some memorable villains, among whom is Mr. Zenith, who was a huge influence on Michael Moorcock's, an acknowledged influence, I should say, on Michael Moorcock's character Elric of Melniboné. And I believe Moorcock wrote one of the Sexton Blake novels. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this, and remember to give me that thumbs up for like, and thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for all who've subscribed to the channel. As the saying goes, there's more to show. So, and again, as always, feel free with your comments. They're much appreciated. Thanks. Bye.